Hey everybody, Dean Crandall here. Just wanted to let you know that I am going to be teaching today about the buyer-broker agreement, specifically the exclusive buyer-broker agreement and agency disclosure. So first things first, I'm going to get rid of my screen and I will share a screen with you that you can see the doc that we're going to be discussing. And share, and here we are. So first and foremost, the exclusive buyer-broker agreement, this is from the MLS. What I would do first is I want to fill this thing out as much as possible. So I'm going to use the easy button, I call it. You click on the auto populate. I'm not going to use an MLS today, but I know that the listing county, if you want to limit your buyer broker agreement, you can do that. I'm not going to, but I'm going to put in here, Bobby and Bobby Buyer, Dean is the agent, KW Westfield is the brokerage. And we fill it out. When I click to fill and update fields, when this green bar goes away, we've been filled out. Now I have Bobby and Bobby Buyer in here. I put my name in here because it's populated, and it has the full name of the brokerage, which is the beautiful part of using the MLS forms. Your brokerage name is KW Westfield Keller Williams Real Estate, longest name in the industry. Anyway, it's long. It's just the way the division has to have it done, so I want to make sure you do it correctly. Section 1, the term of the agreement is when this thing goes away, not today's date. There's no need to take a buyer-broker agreement if you're going to have it expire at 5 p.m. today, so don't do it, okay? Because here it'll end 5 p.m. Now, when I do a buyer-broker agreement, I'll tell you right now, I don't want to work with buyers for very long. So I may go 30 days into the future. Today happens to be the 23rd of the month. I may go to the end of the following month and do that. Does that make sense? I don't want to work for 6 months with any buyer or a year with a buyer. I want to put a little bit of a fire under them. The only time I may make an exception is if they're looking for something truly unique. Think geodesic dome, think a $250,000 property, 10 acres, 6-bedroom house will not be in Utah County, just letting you know. I just want to make sure to set the expectations with a buyer that we're not going to work together forever on purchasing your home. Okay? So I usually put in, 30 to 45 days into the future. If we need to, we can always extend, and that's not a hard thing to do. Brokerage fees. I like to get paid. I'm very simple. I want 3% of the acquisition price of the property and do that. I also will put in here 2 months. If I showed you a property and we've gone through and I've worked with you, I'm just asking you to work with me. Even if our buyer broker agreement has expired, as soon as you decide I want to buy that property, if it's within 2 months, it simply says that you're going to work with me and not go hire another agent to write an offer on a property that I helped bring you to and that we've worked together on. Okay? 4, this says that the buyer is actually a buyer, that we're going to buy something. We're not going to just kick the tires. Because I sell homes, I don't show homes and all that. Okay? Agency relationships. I have a fiduciary, a money responsibility to you, the buyer. That includes loyalty, obedience, full disclosure, confidentiality, reasonable care, and anything else this division of real estate decides I need to do. Okay? I don't discuss limited agency. We don't do dual agency. So I simply say, we'll cross this bridge if we run into or fall in love with a house that is listed by a KW Westfield Keller Williams real estate agent, then we'll talk about limited agency. The other one that really has to worry is your broker, who would be a dual agent in any of these transactions or be the limited agent. Okay? Number 6, this is the realtors are as dumb as rocks clause. It says that we are trained in the marketing of real estate, but we're not trained in anything else. So please don't ask us questions about electrical or plumbing or HVAC systems. Don't ask us about zoning or insurances that need to be done. One of my favorite questions I always get, hey, can I write this off on my taxes? That is a wonderful question. I deflect that and have them defer to their tax specialist, because that's the person who can answer those questions. Don't speak outside of your license, okay? If there's going to be a fight between me and you, buyer, it's going to be a fight over money. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll walk away from this transaction before we have a dispute. But it does say that we'll mediate first. A lot of times, the simple mediation is where the broker and the agent can work with that. If it's on a transaction, between another party, agents could be agents and then brokers as necessary. But because an attorney wrote this agreement, it just says that attorneys will be paid if they're brought into this case and it goes to court. So the prevailing party would collect reasonable and customary fees, and we always abide by the laws of the state of Utah because we're buying Utah real estate. Okay? Buyer authorizations, they are authorizing that this information will be kept private and confidential on the multiple listing service. So the terms of the sale and all that will be put on there, and those are usually uploaded by the listing agent, but the buyer is just acknowledging that they know that it's going to go up there, because by the terms of the listing agreement, the listing agent needs to put that on the multiple listing service as well. With my buyers, because I only have a 30, maybe a 45-day agreement, I do not do an attachment. I have seen agents put in there, hey, you can fire me anytime you want. Well, I'll terminate a buyer before, without having to have that in writing, because there's the termination of the exclusive buyer broker agreement anyway, and I'll just sign that because I'm not going to hold someone to an agreement they don't want to be in. Okay? 11, I cannot steer you and say, if I were talking to some of my cousins, say, hey, this is where all the Paulies live. I can't do that. I would simply say, where would you like to look? And let's find every opportunity, every home that's in that area. But I'm going to show you everything. I can't steer you to where the Polynesians live, where the white people live, where the Hispanics live, or where the Greeks live. That would be inappropriate and it's illegal for us to do so. And so make sure that you're professional in all of that. If someone says, I want to live near a given church building, not a problem. Find a church building, draw a radius around it, and find homes inside of that radius. You can do that because that's the buyers dictating to you, but you cannot dictate to the buyer where they should be living. Okay? 12, if this agreement were signed in electronic counterparts or separately by two buyers, or we sign it, everybody signs electronically at different times from different computers, no big deal, just as good as wet signatures. We need to explain to a buyer if they're planning to receive the property in a way other than purchasing it, meaning lease option to purchase, or they want the seller to be the bank and do seller financing, it could trigger a due on sale clause if the seller has a mortgage on that property. So if you're thinking of doing that, please come talk to me and visit with me about that first, okay? This is the entire agreement between me and the buyer. The effective date is when we sign it. Get all of the buyers that are going to be writing on this, on the Rep C, to sign it. And then you as an agent absolutely need to sign, because that's a requirement by law. So make sure you do that and go sell something. Anyway, thanks for putting up with me on this one. It's a lot of fun to sell real estate. A simple goal, an easy one. Write an offer a week. If you do that, you'll be filling out this buyer broker a lot and you'll become very fluent in this document. But if you write an offer a week, you'll have a great career. Anyway, have fun and take care. Thanks for watching.